Hello and welcome to a new episode on Sadhana World Foundation. We have been talking about events, incidents from our day to day lives. We step out of our homes and the air that we breathe, even inside our home. Just think of the quality of the air that we breathe. And in the winter season, when the season changes, so many of us fall sick. And doctors tell us it's because of the air pollution. Think of the water that we drink. The groundwater quality has come down significantly. Today, we can't think of drinking water that's naturally available. We have to purify the water and drink. Think of the soil which helps us grow vegetables, crops that we all consume on day-to-day basis. Think of the quality of the soil today. The amount of fertilizers, medicines, insecticides, pesticides that we apply to the soil, the quality of vegetables that we get, the quality of crops that we get from that soil has changed significantly. So basically, the environment that we today live in has been deteriorating. We know that the rivers have been flooding. The temperature of the water in the ocean has been rising. There are cities which are getting submerged. There are countries which are getting submerged under the water because the water level is rising. So all of this is happening. We all know that it is because of the consumption of various things that we have been as a human race doing day in and day out. When we were small kids, our teachers, our parents used to tell us to be conscious of the environment that we live in. We were all told that we must take food as much as we can consume. We were encouraged not to leave a morsel of food on our plates. We were all frowned upon when we did not like some food on our plate and we left it behind. Today, just imagine the amount of wastage of resources that's happening around this world. So we are living in a challenging and difficult time. So I thought about our ancient times and started looking up the literature which is available, the classics which are available, and wonder if they have any teachings for us. I would like to present one concept out of everything that's available. The concept is about 5 elements. They are called Panch Mahabhootas. Five elements. So one element is soil. The soil where we grow our food. Soil which stands the testament of patience. Imagine the amount of pressure that we put on the soil, the amount of damage, the amount of hurt that we cause to the soil. Yet, soil stays patient and it continues to deliver what it is supposed to deliver. So that's the soil or the earth, Mother Earth. So that's the first element of our environment. And it is told that human body is made up of these 5 things. We were told the entire universe is made out of these 5 things. These 5 are the basic elements, constituents. If we take care of these 5, then our world, our universe, our body will become good for us to live and our next generations to have a better life. So we spoke about the first element, which is the earth, Mother Earth, or the soil. The second element, which is air, the air that we breathe. Something very interesting about this air. Air is odorless, but the air that we smell sometimes is full of fragrance, sometimes full of stench. So air teaches us, it has such an interesting quality that it is detached from whatever it comes in contact with. It doesn't get impacted by whatever it comes and touches or comes in touch with. It carries that from one place to the other. It mixes with everything. And the air is so essential for our life. None of us can live without air, isn't it? And air is freely available. Because we have been spoiling this air, the quality is going down, and the environment that we are living in, the environment that we are leaving behind for our next generation is getting spoiled. So that's the second element. What's the third? Third one is about water. The water that we drink. None of us can survive without water, right? Even the plants cannot survive without water. That's such an important element of this whole universe. 70% of our human body is water. What's interesting about water? Water takes the shape of the container that you pour this water into. It always maintains a balance. The surface is always flat. So it teaches us to stay balanced. It teaches us to adapt ourselves. So we go to a cold country, we need to adapt ourselves to the temperature, to the climate of that place. We come to a very hot country, we have to adapt ourselves to that particular environment. So that's water. It teaches us adaptability. It teaches us to stay balanced. What's the fourth one? Fourth one is about fire. What does fire do? Fire is a very, very important element for our human body. Without the power of the fire, food doesn't get digested in human body. And without fire, this whole world will not exist. It's such an interesting element that it stays pure all the time. It doesn't change its characteristics. Unlike water, which takes the shape of the container that you pour it into. Unlike air, it doesn't mix with the things that you expose it to. It stays pure. It doesn't change its characteristic. You put paper to the fire, it burns faster because paper burns faster. You put a piece of wood to fire, it takes little longer, it burns. You put a piece of plastic to the fire, it takes a whole lot of time to burn. Fire doesn't change its property. So it teaches us to stay pure in our thoughts, in our mind, purity of heart. So that's another important element. And finally, the fifth one is about the space or the ether or the sky. What does it do? It tells us about something infinite, something very large, something which is boundaryless. That's our mind. Millions of thoughts come to our mind when we are actively doing something. That's how life is. So the environment pollution is not about only the soil or the air or the water. It's also about the fire. It's also about the sky or the ether. So if we take care of all these 5 things, then this world that we live in will become a much better place. Greater amount of consciousness would come. We will consume responsibly. We will consume food as much we require. We will consume clothes as much as we require. We will travel as much as we require. And it is essential. And so on and so forth. We will collaborate with others. We will share things only when we are conscious of these 5 bhutas or Mahabhootas, 5 key elements. Thank you for watching this and thinking about the Panch Mahabhootas, which are described in various forms in various mythological texts and stories and the folk tales that seniors describe to the small little ones. But the point is, do we remember them? Do we think about them? Do we live them every day of our lives? Look forward to our future conversations. Thank you very much.